Good morning, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Progress. I'm beautiful. Today we're going to talk about projection and what a projection is. Projection is when somebody tells you something, well, when somebody tries to tell you who you are, and you'll know that it's a projection because it won't feel true to you. But if you allow people to tell, the thing about a projection is when you first hear it, it won't feel right to you. That's how you know it's a projection. It's something that you never ever thought about yourself until you hear it come out of somebody else's mouth. The thing that makes projections dangerous is because if you let a person continue, if you stay around a person like that that's telling you who you are, and it's something that you don't even feel is true for yourself, especially if it's negative in a way, because the way you feel about yourself is powerful. That's a powerful thing. That is, as a man thinketh, so he shall be. So when somebody tells you something about yourself that does not feel right, does not feel true to your soul, it's important that you speak over that you speak over your life. You don't have to do it to their face, but when you get home and when you get in your private time, you speak over that projection. If you don't agree with it, you tell God that you don't agree with it. You tell God that you know that that's not who you are. You tell God that you know that that person doesn't see you for who you are. Because a projection can be dangerous, because if you sit there and let somebody do that to you over and over, you also need to limit time with that person. And projections, and the people that project onto you are being used. Most of the time when somebody's projecting something negative onto you, it's a part of spiritual warfare, and that person is being used. And they may not even know it. They may think they're not doing anything harmful. And it's important also to know that you can't go back and forth with people when they're doing that. You have to accept that that's where the person, you have to accept that that person doesn't really know that they're being used to sometimes silence you. Sometimes projections are used to silence you. Sometimes projections are accompanied with gaslighting. Like if someone tells you something about yourself that does not feel true to you, if you attempt to correct them and say, well, no, I don't really agree with that, then you might be met with gaslighting to shut you down and make you be quiet. That is spiritual warfare. You are being spiritually attacked. And that person probably that person probably doesn't mean to do that, but they are still being used. That's why when you are a spiritual person and you know that you walk heavy, like you know that you have a heavy purpose, you know that you help a lot of people, you have to know about projections and gaslighting, and you have to know when it's happening, because you have to rebuke that. You might have to limit time with that person because that person doesn't know and that person doesn't understand what you're going through. If you're a spiritual person and you walk heavy, you help a lot of people, you know what your purpose is. You walking in your purpose. You have to spend a lot of time alone until you are able to recognize. Good morning. Okay, when you are a spiritual person and you know that you are walking in your purpose and you're helping people, even your presence can help people. God will put you in places And it might look like, you know, your job is not important, but you're there to help. You might be there to help those people. It might be somebody there that needs somebody to talk to, and you know when that person is you. You can feel that interaction. You know when you're helping somebody. So if you're that kind of person, then you're gonna have to either be alone a lot of time. You're gonna have to spend a lot of time alone, because you're gonna have to spend a lot of time cleansing your energy and speaking over your life and controlling your thoughts and making sure that you're thinking positively and making sure that you are thinking the way you need to think about yourself. Just make sure that your thoughts are yours. And the only way you can really make sure your thoughts are yours is to spend time alone. Especially if you're an empath, because if you're an empath, you're gonna feel everybody's emotions, and that stuff can run together. When you're by yourself, you will learn to differentiate your feelings and emotions from other people's feelings and emotions. And I have done that so long. I've gotten so good at that as soon as somebody projects onto me, I feel it. But I don't take it personal. I don't take it personal no more, because I don't really think people are doing it in a malicious way. Actually, they don't know. Hold on, y'all. Good morning. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with this video now. It's doing so weird. Oh, okay. What the heck is this? All right, y'all. I am going to cut this video short because it looked different. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, a lot of times when people are projecting, it's just because they have not reached the same level of your spiritual journey wherever you are. They may not believe in spiritual warfare. They may say that they believe in it, but they may not recognize that you are being spiritually attacked. If they don't recognize that you're being spiritually attacked, they definitely don't recognize that they are being used. And a lot of times that's why I try not to tell people who they are. I try to let people tell me who they believe that they are, because that's who they are. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself, especially if you're somebody that sits by yourself all the time. If you're a person that sits by yourself all the time or a lot of the time, nobody knows you better than you. So anytime somebody says something to you that don't sit right with your spirit or your soul, speak over it. Let God know that that's not what you think. Let God, and actually speak over it, and don't just say, "Oh no, that's not me." Tell God what you think. Who do you think you are? What feels right to you? Because nobody knows you like you. Nobody knows your journey like you. Nobody knows the things you've had to overcome like you. Because a lot of times, especially if you're a person that everybody comes to for help and advice, and they don't give you credit for it, they also won't be able to admit that that is who you are and that you've been being spiritually attacked. So, I don't know. A lot of times, if you're the person that people always come to for advice, people can't see when you're being attacked, especially if it's a spiritual attack. Especially if the people that are doing it are smiling in their face and helping them with things and being nice. If they have their mask on and you're flipping out because you're being spiritually attacked, and you don't even have to be flipping out. You can just be wanting to be alone. I went through a season where I wanted to be alone a lot, and it's because nobody understood what I was trying to say to them. And that let me know that I needed to stop talking to people and start talking to God, and maybe even talking to myself. And it helped too. So anyway, I just wanted to say that don't if something doesn't, if somebody says something to you that does not feel true to you about you, then that's because it's not. Especially if you're an honest person. Like, I'm a person that's very honest. And then sometimes somebody says something to me and it don't feel true. But if I sit by myself and think about it and I understand why they said it, then I'm honest with myself about that too, because it's all about growth. It's not about being right. It's about, well, it is about being right, but it's about being honest about when you're wrong and when you're right. And when you know that what someone is saying to you is just the idea that they have of you. Sometimes the way people think about you is not even who you are. That's just the role that you play in their life. So that's the way that they see you. Anyway, y'all, I love y'all. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.